Well, hey there, Mission Control. I know it's been a few days since my last video update. I'm sorry that you haven't had stuff to watch here. Not that there isn't plenty of stuff to watch on YouTube, but what I've been up to is what I want to share in this video. It's been a frustrating go, to say the least. I've successfully learned how to do basic TIG welding. Check. I've learned how, and I'm getting pretty good at TIG welding on at least 1/8 inch thick material. Actually, I'm getting it to where I can do some nice joints. Actually, this is one in front of me here where I barely have to use any filler metal and it's coming out almost without needing to be ground off. So that's awesome. That's the value of TIG. However, the reason that we got the TIG welder was to actually weld the stainless sheeting on the side and to also weld the tanks. This is a base unit for one of our grow towers, our indoor growing units. And I wanted it to look really nice. We're making it out of stainless steel because it's too expensive to go create it out of plastic because you have to pay for tooling and all that. But in the future, probably replace a majority of this stainless steel with plastic parts. Anyway, so welding the 24 gauge stainless steel, I've had some phone calls with some welders, and basically the TIG, no matter what setting, I had it on 28 volts, which is the lowest I could actually get an arc to start. And when you're on the edge trying to bring two sheets together, even with backing, even with aluminum heat sinks pulling the heat off, it was still just burning through the metal, just going through it. Couldn't do it. And then if I could figure out how to get it to not burn the metal, it wouldn't stick to the tube. And we have 1/8 inch thick tube, 24 gauge stainless. It's just the heat, it's just too much. You need more heat to get the tube to melt than what this 24 gauge can handle. So that's a mistake on my part. What I ended up doing is back to MIG welding, and I had to set, I didn't know it, but that welder, the Lincoln Electric 210, it has a spot weld setting. So I set the spot weld between 0.5 and 0.8 seconds and just went through and bap, bap, bap thousands of times. And I got a halfway decent result. But needless to say, this particular unit, this is the very first one I made. It is going to be called the Ugly Duckling because it has plenty of mistakes on it. So learning TIG and then getting the side panels all mounted up here. Another thing I found is my first official red line. Now, a red line is when we go into the drawings the engineer puts together, in this case me, and you correct it because there's a clear mistake in how you would manufacture it versus the design. That mistake was that when I did my cut list for this tube, these long tubes here, and the corner tubes, I did it flipped. What should have happened is that these corner tubes should have went the entire length and these long tubes should have been in the middle. Now, because of that mistake, I had 2 days worth of work where I had to drill out these corners and then file them square so that the posts, because this is a modular unit, the next sections all mount up to it, mount through these holes. And my hands are blistered. I've had my leather gloves on. It has been about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It is hot. So that was a lot of unfun work. But we got it done, and I actually just mounted the filter mount plate on here and TIG welded, and I was very happy with how that all turned out. My TIG welding skills have gone from 0 to pretty okay in just the course of 3 days, thanks to everyone's help. But I can't get that sheet metal to go, which is going to be a problem because the next section of this is actually the fish tank that sits in here, which is made out of stainless. So my plan is to try it with TIG because we're doing sheet to sheet. We're not doing sheet to 1/8, but I think I'm going to end up having to do spot welds with the MIG. So at least we can do that. Otherwise, we'd be really hosed. So, got this unit pretty good. Again, it's going to be called the Ugly Duckling. The next ones will be a lot better because I've learned a lot of things that I should have done, repairs. You know, these holes I should have put in first with the drill press. And because I didn't do that, the stainless got hard with the drill bits. I had brand new drill bits. I also learned how to sharpen drill bits because I went through them. And that was frustrating. So, anyway. I got this thing put together. Let me show you what else we've been working on. It's a lot cooler in here. I'm so grateful that Newer sent me that air conditioner. 100 degrees outside and we can keep it about 84 in here, and that's with both plates of that thing going. Big Bertha, the heat plates, and they're set at, what is it, 57 Celsius, so that's like 106 or something like that, 114 Fahrenheit. So it's pumping off the heat, but we're able to keep it pretty cool in here. So yay, air conditioning. We are on the 13th iteration of the Grow Box solution, and we've actually got the printer printing pretty consistently now, thanks to the folks at Modix. Max is awesome there, helping me out. We've had quite a few things that we've had to go through and figure out. When the heat came, it really messed with the printer. So let me show you what those things were. So you want the heated bed so that your plastic adheres to the bed and so that it won't cool rapidly, because when it cools rapidly, you get warping. So a heated bed is a really big deal, and it's something you really want in 3D printing. This thing is so big that once the outdoor temperature, which then changes the inside temperature, which then affects the temperature in here, once it started getting above really 85, 90 Fahrenheit, I had the hood down and the inner temperature in here was above 105 Fahrenheit. And then what's happening then is that the material that's coming in, the plastic that's coming in, is actually softening in the hood here. And then by the time it gets to the extruder, it's so soft that it can't feed and you start losing a feed. That was one problem that we had. Another problem that we had is that the Titan Aero extruder, the Volcano, that came with this, which is an amazing extruder, so one of the top of the line extruders you can get. Anyone that's in 3D printing knows that. There's probably even better ones, but this is a really good grade extruder. Well, they had a defect in one of their bearings, and that bearing impacted the ability to feed PLA. So I got some new bearings sent, but they also kind of had the issue. So I ended up having to manufacture a small little bearing myself out of a nut and put it in there, and that really made a huge difference. Another thing that we did is we played around with the PLA tubing, the Bowden tube as it's called. And Modix does not recommend to have it set up the way that I have it set up, but since I've been having successful prints with this, that's been a big, I'm not going to change it yet. You know, you don't, the squeaky wheel gets the grease and don't fix it if it ain't broke type of thing. It was not working correctly, and one of the problems we think, the heat and the particular type of filament was creating quite a bit of friction inside that Bowden tube, which then put a lot of pressure on the feed unit, which resulted in grinding of the filament and eventually a failed print. So we got that going. We also ended up putting on a new fan, a bigger fan, which is recommended from Modix. I think they're outfitting all their stuff now with these bigger ones because of the need to move that heat off of there. With these big heat plates in here, you got a lot of heat coming, and you need to get that heat off of that plastic where it's going in, where the gear is at. Otherwise, it gets soft right there because you have a heat focus point. You have the plate and then the heat coming up off the plate, and you also have the extruder heater, and then you have, you know, the heat from the plate, the extruder heat, and that all heat rises, and then what's coming in right there, that's the filament. So it gets super hot. So you got to have air movement in there, which it's all designed for it. But with these hotter temperatures, it really became pronounced. So we got that fixed. And then finally, let me show you the last thing we did. All right, so that's an 8 kilogram, that's about 16 pounds of spooled filament. Now this is all food grade. This was the old mount up here, and really didn't like that. So with the help of Modix, we put this one together. Those are 4 2-inch caster wheels that are non-pivots, with just some, what is that? It's just an L bracket that's in there to keep it from going left to right and feeding from the bottom rather than feeding from the top. I also put some PFTE dry lubrication into those wheels to really get them lubricated. And this made a huge difference. You can see it's pulling it pretty easily right now, and that line tends to stay pretty slack. So this is a big deal getting this far. So now we're getting pretty reliable prints. There's a few things, some design iterations that I'm going to have to take care of, but otherwise we got the Big Bertha seems to be on the march right now. She's doing a great job. So I have about one set of grow boxes. It's 2 grow boxes, the face plates. They're right over here. So we have the grow box. This is version 11, which is really the 13th iteration overall. This one still has its supports in it. By the way, with the help of Modix, we're going to be putting a second extruder on so that these supports that are in here are going to be printed in dissolvable filaments. So the support structure is going to come out a lot nicer because we've had to start doing supports. We've got the wall mount. Oh, this is not that wall mount. Let's just get all the parts over here. All right, let's start at the top. We have one fairing set, which I did not like how this one printed because I let it do an overhang print, and I should have put some supports in there. So we have the top fairing and its wall mount. We have the bottom fairing and its wall mount. So these are all things that still need their magnets installed. We have a grow box. We have quite a few of the new and improved grow box covers. And we have the magazine. I didn't notice when it prints. It's nice and pretty like that. Okay, but also brand new for you guys. Kind of show you what we got going on here first. Here is what we got going on. So you can see this one's been marked up because this is version 10 marked here, and we needed some stuff to be done here. So I got magnets actually installed and in the grow wall mount as well, and that is actually pretty good. So I think it's going to be strong enough for what we need to do. I don't think we need to get any stronger. I actually have to shake it to get it off. And once these are on the wall, I don't see them coming off easily once it's on there. So, but if that's a problem, we'll just get stronger magnets, so that's not an issue. I also have the emitter in here, and we recessed the feeder tube, and I really like how that is turning out. This particular version 10 didn't do so well on the printer, so now it's just used for demonstration purposes and figuring out what's wrong. We also have these really small magnets, which I haven't installed because I just don't want to waste them on these older versions here. But they fit in the corner like that. And then the face plates will actually get, they'll get one mounted in there as well. And then this whole thing will be magnet. And these magnets are strong. I mean, they are really strong. So that's not going to be a problem. And that fits over the top like a so. And then, whoops, I forgot one thing. Where'd it go? Where'd the little guy go? I just took it off. All right, that's junk. That's junk. This guy's important. Where did he go? Oh, there we go. Is it sitting on it? Something? It goes over there. Oh, come on, man. You're here, and I'm just not seeing you. Oh, there it is. All right, check out these little guys. So, anyone know what they are? This, for those that haven't guessed, is a wireless power transmitter that is going to be mounted right there. And I don't want to mount it yet because I only have the one, and I want an official version 11, maybe even a version 12 before I mount it in there. And then this is the first time you've seen it, light mount. So what it does, this whole thing slides on here like so. And then this, via magnets, there'll be 1, 2, 3 magnets, will connect right here. And it'll go up to the next section here. You see, sitting like that. Be right below the cup. And then I have a little ledge here to mount lights onto. This is the first design iteration, V1 of this. So we're going to play with it. I need to do some electronics. I need to do some wiring and some math to get my power source and everything figured out. But we've got these coming along. So all in all, we are starting to accelerate and make some progress. I'm hopeful that in the next few days, I'll be able to get enough of the version 11 grow boxes printed with their fairings so that I can actually remove the old V10s, V9s off of the wall. the test wall that we have and actually start installing the version 11's, version 12, version 11 plus, I'll just say. Before I print all of the boxes, all 9 of them, I want to make sure the first 3 connect together nicely, and then we make any design changes that need to be made before we go on to the next, before we print the remaining 6. I really like the idea of doing a test with 9. I would like to do more, really, so you get more dynamics of a larger system and how it works. Anything less than 9, I kind of feel like, well, yeah, it's not really gonna, you're not really getting the full experience there. So I chose that number, right? But it feels right. So today I'm going to be welding. I'm going to be working on the next section, like I said, of the grow tower. So I think what I'm going to do, honestly, we're on the clock here. For those that are brand new to the channel, you don't know, but we are on a clock. There's only so much money in the bank, and we've got to get going. So I think I'm going to do some more video updates like this, showing you, multiple things that I've done, culminating events, rather than just here's what I'm doing every day. I can't teach someone how to weld, so. But it's been great getting your guys' feedback as we go. Now that I kind of got it, I need to get these parts put together. We need to get them growing. So I am going to do some more video updates. Probably I won't be able to do a video every day, unfortunately, which hurts us. But I got to get work done. So I'm going to go focus on that. I hope you enjoyed this quick video update telling you everything we've been up to. There's been a lot, and it's been really warm out, and I'm sweating like a dog these days. So I got to get back out there, get to work. If you really like what we're doing, you can help us out on Patreon. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. In the meantime, everybody, this is The Real Martian. Out.